Configure to order manufacturing has very distinct processes compared to any other manufacturing models. So, which are the top 10 configure to order manufacturing ERP systems in 2024? That's what we have discussed in this video. So, let's dive in.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our number one priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello everyone, my name is Sam Gupta. I am principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent ERP digital transformation consulting firm. We help our clients with digital transformation strategy, enterprise technology selection, change management, as well as innovation. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is going to be your top 10 configure to order manufacturing ERP systems in 2024. Before we look at the list, let's define what is configured to order manufacturing. In general, when most companies start in their journey as well as product evolution, they are probably going to be engineered to order. They are not going to have as formalized, standardized product model. But as they grow, especially if their sales and marketing expenses are going to increase, then they will have to streamline their estimation process. Sometimes configure to order processes might be driven by the customers or the industry because you might be inheriting these configurations that your competitors or the industry might be doing. But in other cases, the configure to order manufacturing might be driven by the internal operational efficiency or the goals for streamlining internal processes. So the industries that are going to be relevant from the CTO perspective are any of the manufacturing. Sometimes you might see this in distribution as well as retail spaces as well, because they use configuration to enable the order, even though their manufacturing process might not be as thick. They might simply be doing assembly, but the CPQ processes are going to be equally relevant there as well. The industries that you are going to notice with CPQ processes is your or CTO configure to order processes is your mattress industry. It's going to be your furniture, F&B. You might see these trends with telecom as well as field service. The field service workflow is very different overall from the service order perspective, but you might see these capabilities there as well. The criteria that we use to compile this list is you are looking at product share, acquisition strategy focused on CTO companies, product roadmap, community, ecosystem, win rate, and technology strategy. So all of these variables that we combine to compile this list. So now let's look at the list. Number 10 on our list is Rootstock. And Rootstock targets SMB-centric configure to order manufacturers, and it is built on Salesforce platform. So it is going to utilize all of those rich CPQ capabilities, especially where Salesforce is going to be present. And in general, Salesforce is present in a lot of different verticals. For example, telecom, media, tech, data center businesses, all of those are going to be very heavy users of Salesforce as well as Salesforce CPQ. So Rootstock utilizes or leverages those capabilities from Salesforce perspective. That's why they are really strong in those CTO verticals. But at the same time, Rootstock also going to have the underlying bombs and capabilities that are going to be required for your CTO business models. The strengths that you are looking at from Rootstock perspective is native integration with your Salesforce products, whether you are looking at this more from the sales order perspective or from the service order perspective. In service order workflows, you are going to require the field service capabilities that is also coming from your Salesforce. The other things that are going to be equally relevant in the CTO space, especially if you are going to have your field crew that is carrying your products or the offerings on their devices in the field, then you will require these CPQ capabilities on different devices. Sometimes the other systems that are going to have legacy technologies might not have those capabilities from the omni-channel experience perspective. The other advantage that you are going to have with Rootstock is the native capabilities to support CTO bombs. In general, the CTO bombs require the template, and that template is going to spit a lot of different bombs that are going to be produced. Now, if you don't have support for your template BOM, then you might struggle with your configure to order process, and then you need to make a lot of shortcuts, and the experience is not going to be as seamless. The final strength that we have with Rootstock is it can also support your WBS centric processes in general. With configure to order centric production, you are not going to have as much use case of your project manufacturing, but having that capability helps because you will not outgrow Rootstock very, even if you are going to diversify your business models and introduce a lot of different manufacturing models or processes or different products. The limitations that you are going to run into with Rootstock is the finance and accounting capabilities. The layers are not going to be as rich, as intuitive as you are going to find with other systems that we have on this list. And the reliance on third-party modules, you will require a lot more modules compared to other systems that we have. And the ecosystem in the install base is very small as well. So that's number 10. Number 9 on our list is Oracle Cloud ERP. Oracle Cloud ERP has very rich CPU, especially for verticals such as your media, telco. For those, the CPU processes are going to be very different, and the manufacturing processes are going to be very different as well. That's where Oracle Cloud ERP really shines, and it is going to have all of those best of breed capabilities that you will require for those industries. The strengths that you are looking at from the Oracle Cloud ERP perspective is the finance capabilities, especially for those large enterprise companies. That's where Oracle Cloud ERP is positioned, and it is going to be really handy for global CTO manufacturers, especially if they are trying to streamline these configuration processes across the globe, and they are going to have a lot more entities that they are trying to host as part of the same entity in or same database. In some cases, especially if you look at patches such as your medical device, they might have centralized governance rules that they need to follow for their CPQ processes so that they don't release the devices that might not be available in specific geographies. That requires far tighter alignment of your CPQ processes, production processes, the product release processes, as well as the way you are going to be allocate your territory and sell your products. So all of that is going to be possible with your Oracle Cloud ERP. And the final strengths that we have with Oracle Cloud ERP is it is a proven solution for large workloads, especially in the best of breed architecture, as well as the ecosystem is going to be far more prevalent, similar to your SAP S/4HANA or Microsoft. The limitations that you are going to run into with Oracle Cloud ERP is the last mile capabilities, especially if you look at the suite capabilities or the last mile integration. You will be utilizing a lot more third-party add-ons for those that might not be available through your OEMs. The compliance capabilities are not going to be as flavored just because this is slightly more diversified solution. In Oracle Cloud ERP, the other limitations that you are going to run into is it is not necessarily a manufacturing solution, even though it can support, it does not have as many logos in the product-centric industries. So that's not going to be a focus. But for industries where the primary focus is going to be service-based, but then they might do some manufacturing as well, for those industries, Oracle Cloud ERP may be a better fit. And it is going to be overwhelming for SMBs. It's not really designed for those. So that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is Acumatica. Acumatica targets SMB CTO manufacturers, and that are going to be in that $10 to $100 million in revenue. If you look at the configure to order processes of Acumatica, as of today, they are very text-based, primarily meant for the internal configurable processes. They might not be as exciting for consumer-driven experiences, especially if you're looking at spaces such as your furniture or mattress, where you require far more 3D centric capabilities from the configure to order experience perspective. Those things might not be possible, at least as of today, with Acumatica. It's a very text-based configurator compared to your Infor Epicor. They have far more 3D centric capabilities as part of their ERP layer. So the strengths with Acumatica is it does have configurator add-on as well as configurable BOMs. So they have the underlying structure, but again, it might not be as friendly for consumer grade configurator experiences if you are trying to build those. Support for subassemblies and phantom in general with configure to order processes, you are going to have a lot more subassemblies and the phantoms as part of your bombs. So that support is there. And the way the rule engine is designed, it can support very complex configurations, especially when you are looking at field service centric businesses. And in those, the configuration rules could be very complex as well. So Acumatica has support for all of those. The limitations that you are going to run into with Acumatica is it's not really a global product. It is not globalized and localized in as many countries. So if you're looking for a global product, then Acumatica may not be the best fit for you. The mature manufacturing capabilities might be limited as well. It does not have as many layers as, or the capabilities are not going to be as detailed as you are going to find with Inforce or Epicores of the world. And then you will require multiple add-ons for CTO processes. So that's going to be another challenge. So that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O. So overall, from the product perspective, it targets slightly more upper mid-market companies. It is going to have all of those underlying data layers that you need to enable a configure to order experience. But overall, from the suite perspective, when you look at the engineering-centric collaboration or configure to order processes, then you will require add-ons there. From the field service perspective, the best of breed field service module can be used for that process from Microsoft perspective. So at least that is going to be there. But then when you look at that consumer-centric 3D experience, then that is probably not going to be available with Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O. The other strengths that you're looking at with F&O is the core ERP capabilities that are going to be far stronger compared to other suite-centric products. And the marketplace as well as the ecosystem that you have, they are going to have a lot more add-ons in general that you can find to augment your CTO processes. The limitations that you're going to run into is the pre-baked integrations, especially if you're looking for suite-centric functionality where you might have limited budget, and in general these integrations are going to be far busier. They will require a lot more expertise from the implementation consulting perspective. So those are not going to be available with your F&O product, and it could be too big for smaller companies. It's really not designed for SMB companies. It's a slightly bigger product. And you might run into challenges with your implementation integration for your complex 3D processes, especially if they are going to be exchanging a lot more data back and forth. You might run into those challenges with your F&O products. So that's number 7. Number 6 on our list is SAP S/4HANA. And SAP S/4HANA, similar to your Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O, is a very large product. It is designed for those publicly traded global organizations that are going to require far deeper financial workflows designed for those companies. But overall, from the product model perspective, it can support all of those CTO-centric MOMs as well as the workflows. But the architecture that SAP S/4HANA is going to take, especially for the engineering-centric collaboration, for that you would most certainly require an add-on that is not going to be provided as part of the suite. For the consumer-centric configure to order processes, you will rely on SAP Hybris, depending upon whether you want to utilize SAP Hybris for your commerce experience or not. Some companies might not prefer that. They might prefer slightly leaner commerce systems such as your Shopify, BigCommerce, etc. Then your Hybris is not going to be relevant. But if you use that, then your consumer-grade 3D experiences might be easier. That is not going to be part of your the core ERP layer inside your SAP S/4HANA. And from field service perspective, it is going to have all of those capabilities built as part of the model. The other strengths that we have for SAP S/4HANA is it's the enterprise product. When you have to host a lot of different business models capabilities as part of the same product, same database, then this is going to be a great product. The power of HANA, even with configure to order, you are going to have millions and millions of transactions, especially when you're looking at your workloads for your Fortune 500,000 organizations. That's where SAP S/4HANA is really handy. And the financial governance processes, when you look at Sarbanes-Oxley compliance processes, they are built as part of the product itself. The limitations that you're going to run into with your SAP S/4HANA product is it is behind in those cloud capabilities, at least as of today. And it is probably going to be too big for smaller configure to order companies. And the last mile capabilities are going to be limited as well. So that's number 6. Number Number 5 on our list is Dalmia Works or IQMX. In general, this product targets plastic-centric enterprises, plastic-centric companies that are going to be in that upper mid-market, lower mid-market spaces. And from the configure to order perspective, one of the advantages that Dalmia Works has, it has very close alignment with your SolidWorks. So engineering-centric processes are going to be far more seamless, and the customer collaboration component of your engineering centric processes are going to be supported by your SolidWorks. So typically in this architecture, these processes are going to reside inside your engineering layer, and once it is ready to be produced, then those bombs are going to be moved to your ERP layer. So in this architecture, this could be a great fit. But when you look at the consumer-centric experiences from the configure to order perspective, they might not be as handy with your Dalmia Works product, as well as the field service might be challenging as well. The strengths that you are looking at from the Dalmia Works perspective is the BOM structure is friendly for CTO companies. The other limitations that you're looking at from the Dalmia Works perspective are going to be very similar to any other focused products. The technology is kind of legacy right now. The focus is going to be very limited. So again, if you're looking for slightly more diversified product, then this might not be the best fit. The ecosystem is going to be smaller as well. So that's number 5. Number 4 on our list is IFS. And IFS, especially if you look at the products that are going to be very expensive products as well as large, they require a lot more field service capabilities, asset management capabilities. That's where IFS is really handy. So for the most part, from the configure to order perspective, even these configurations are going to be very complex. So the systems that are going to be designed for slightly more consumer-centric products, IFS may not be the best fit there. But if you're looking for very, very, very complex products and you require very complex configuration capabilities, for that, IFS could be a great fit. They are also going to have those field service centric configuration workflows that they can enable. So that's going to be another strength that IFS has. Now, the limitations that you're going to run into with IFS are going to be very similar to any other focus products. That is going to be limited focus. So again, if you're looking for this for slightly more diversified business model, then this may not be the best product for you. The ecosystem is very limited as well. The number of installs that they have in North America is very limited. And if you segment that for configure to order companies, that is going to be even more limited. So that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is Epicor Kinetic. And when you look at the Epicor Kinetic product, it has far deeper layers overall from the BOM perspective. The configurator, it can enable all of those 3D configurator experiences, but the configurator is going to be slightly simpler. Now, there are going to be pros and cons of this approach. So simpler configurator means you don't require as much consulting help to be able to configure these processes. But at the same time, the layers are not going to be as scalable as you are going to find with slightly more enterprise grade 3D configurator. So depending upon what is your priority, are your products very complex and are you limited on your budget, then your Epicor Kinetic configurator may be a better fit. But if you're looking for slightly more enterprise grade product, when you have many different variables that you need to accommodate as part of your product, then maybe Infor CSI or Infor LN may be a better fit for those scenarios. So the other strength that you're looking at from the Epicor Kinetic perspective is strong for CTO companies with formal manufacturing processes. If you are going to have informal manufacturing processes, in general, people might not be able to relate with the product because it is going to require the revision number. And if you don't use that, it might not be as friendly. The other strength that you have with Epicor Kinetic is if your inventory is going to be very complex, you have a lot of product attributes that you not only use for your reporting, but you are going to use that for your planning, scheduling with your MRP workload. In some industries, that is going to be super relevant. For example, your sheet metal fastener. In those industries, Epicor Kinetic is a better fit. And the final strength with Epicor Kinetic is the Microsoft look and feel. If you're transitioning from a system that is Microsoft look-alike, then the transition is going to be far easier in general with Epicor Kinetic. The limitations that you are going to run into with Epicor Kinetic is the financial model is not as comprehensive, as detailed as some of the other larger products, and the field service embedded experience, especially for some of the configure to order spaces, your field service experience is going to be equally relevant. In fact, Epic Organic may struggle with field service configurability when you will require that as part of your offerings. So that could be a challenge, as well as the ecosystem is weak, as well as the marketplace is weak as well. So that's number 3. Number 2 on our list is Enforce CSI Sightline product. And Enforce CSI product has enterprise grade configurator, and this enterprise grade configurator that is bundled as part of your Infor LN product. The same configurator is bundled as part of your Infor CSI product as well. Even though Infor CSI is the SMB product from Infor that is targeted for companies that are going to be $250 million and below in revenue. So for the most part, if you look at the BOM structure, the underlying structure, Infor CSI has one of the best capabilities for the configure to order manufacturing. So the strengths that you are looking at from the Infor CSI perspective is when you have to enable these consumer grade 3D experiences, if you are going to have 3D models, different directions, etc., all of those can be done inside Infor CSI. So it can not only support all of those consumer grade experiences, but it can also support engineering centric and field service centric configurable workflows. That's why the product is very comprehensive in general for configure to order manufacturing scenarios. The support for configurable BOMs as well as images are going to be there, and the embedded experience of field service is super handy as well with Infor CSI product. The limitations that you're going to run into with Infor CSI is the limited WBS-centric support for configurable products. So if you have very complex products that follow very operational nature of the projects, and you have WBS-centric workflows for those products, then Infor CSI might have limitations there. As well as if you have very complex inventory that is going to be used as part of your planning, scheduling, etc., then Infor CSI might not be there. Right. As well as some of the other limitations that we have are going to be very similar to any other suite-centric products, which is going to be your ecosystem, marketplace, etc., are not going to be as prevalent as some of the other products. So that's number 2. Number 1 on our list is Infor Cloud Suite LN. And if you look at Infor Cloud Suite LN, again, this is the larger products from Infor compared to your CSI, but it bundles the same configurator product that is going to be available with your Infor CSI product as well. Overall, Infor Cloud Suite LN is not going to have all of those limitations that are there with Infor CSI. First of all, for complex products, if you're going to have those WBS-centric, project-centric workflows, then you don't have that limitation as part of your Infor Cloud Suite LN product, as well as any sort of distribution-centric workflows. And with configure to order, especially if you are going to be very heavy in your e-commerce centric workflows, then you probably are going to require that distribution planning for those. Infor Cloud Suite LN could be great product. The other strength that we have with Infor Cloud Suite LN is the international capabilities. In general, the e-commerce driven companies or the companies that are going to be really heavy in the distribution processes, in general, they are going to require far more international collaboration capabilities, especially if your suppliers are going to be international. So all of those capabilities are included as part of the Infor Cloud Suite LN suite. Other strength that we have with Infor Cloud Suite LN is the comprehensiveness of the mixed mode manufacturing processes, especially if you look at discrete manufacturing. It is one of the richest discrete manufacturing product. It might not have the process manufacturing capabilities, but discrete manufacturing processes, if your processes are going to be primarily discrete, then this is probably one of the most comprehensive product. And the limitations that you have with LN product are very similar to any other focused product. The ecosystem, the marketplace is not going to be as good. It is probably not. You are not going to get the best value if you're going to use this as your corporate financial ledger. The technology is legacy and clunky, so just like your Infor CSI product. So that's number 1. If you enjoyed this video, we are going to include the link of a detailed article, so you might want to check that. This podcast is also available in the audio form on Apple, Spotify, and Google. So check that and subscribe if you like. These videos we release on a weekly basis. So if you don't want to miss them, you like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And if you have not checked our digital transformation report for 2024, we are going to include the link of that as well. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.